Good morning. We are ready to go. So today we're gonna do the scallops in here, and we're gonna do our candy cane. Woo! The candy canes on the sides, and then we'll see where we're at time-wise. Depending on what time it is, we might do the windows too. So let's see where we can get. Okay, so I finished my French knots yesterday. I didn't do a doorknob. I think I want to do a red doorknob so it stands out a little bit. I know on the pattern it's white, but I think white will just look like it's part of the door, and I want the doorknob to be different. So I'm going to do a red doorknob, but I'm still going to do a French knot. So, all right, we are going to do detached chain stitches today, or it's also referred to as a lazy daisy. If you're not doing a lazy daisy, which would be like a flower, then detached chain stitch would be the correct term. I guess we're doing like half of a lazy daisy. Okay, so what we're gonna do is start at the bottom. You can either start on the white and do your chains up, like do your loops up, or you could start in the middle, wherever you want to do that. Let me get you zoomed in a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go kind of up a little bit, like up above my blanket stitch. Start in the middle. Oh, I'm using 3 strands of the white, and I've already tied it off. So I'm just gonna keep using 3 strands. You could use more or less if you want thicker lines. Okay, so we're gonna come up in the middle, and then we're gonna go back down as close to that hole as possible, but make sure you're not pushing your needle through the knot that's at the back, okay? Now we're gonna keep this loop open. We're not gonna pull it all the way through. So we have this loop. We're gonna go up where we want that loop to end. So right here. We're gonna leave our loop open, come up inside of it, and then we're gonna pull it snug. Now, if you pull this really tight, it's gonna create just more of a line. If you want it a little bit looser, then don't pull it quite as tight. It'll create a little bit more of a loop and less of like a straight line. So I left mine, it's like pulled snug but not tight. And then I'm just gonna go down just on the other side. So I came up inside the loop, and then I'm gonna like tack down that loop on the other side. And there's our first detached chain stitch. Now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna come up in that same hole, go down in that same hole, and then we're gonna come off to the side right here, and then pull it snug and tack it down on the other side. So fun, right? So usually if you're doing like a flower, then you would just like keep working your way around and create a little flower, but we're just gonna do 3. Okay, so these are gonna go in each of the arches, and then above each window. The window, I'm gonna fan them out a little bit more. Let me finish, I'll finish down here, and then we'll do one above the window as well. You can make these smaller or bigger depending on what you want it to look like. So if you want to do more of these or do a flower in there, you would just make your stitches a little bit smaller. You could also do these in red or green if you want some more color. We're gonna add some red today, don't worry. It has not been forgotten. I just wanted like a more traditional, like mostly white. So if you're wanting more color, please go for it. All right. And I almost always hold my loop off to the side when I'm going. Hold on, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I usually hold my loop out to the side so I can see where I'm coming up, and then I loop it over the top. Either way works, whatever makes sense in your head. But that's generally how I do it. All right, last one, and then I need some more thread. Okay. How's the back of yours looking? It's okay if it's messy. No one is going to see that unless you show it to them. Mine is messy. The swirls are fun though. Okay. Now I have 2 strands of white, so instead of just like wasting these, I'm gonna double it over and have 4 strands to do the ones up here, just because I hate when I have like extra strands just like sitting around waiting to be used. So I'm just gonna tie these together and use 4 strands. You can use 3, you can use 2, you can use 4. It's not gonna make a huge difference, so whatever you want to do. I just don't like that these 2 pieces are just sitting here waiting for me to use them. Okay, so I'm gonna come up in the middle, and I'm gonna do the side ones first. And do it off to the side. Maybe I'll even do 5 on here. I'm leaving kind of the middle open a little bit so that I can do a few more stitches than usual. What are we doing, Kat? Oh, she's got a toy. Sorry, I had to make sure. She's been bringing like bugs and mice in sometimes. It's okay. It's just a ball. Okay, so I went down in the middle this time, and I'm just going to do a shorter loop here for the middle. And then I'm going to come up in the middle again. I'm going to do 5 on this one. My thread is like not wanting to stick together. So you could do 2, or I mean 3 or 5 little loops here. What does she have? Can you guys hear her running around? Crazy cats. Okay, so there is your lazy daisies. So this same thing, and do it over here. Okay, and then we're gonna do the candy cane on the edge here. tie this off real quick. What do you have, Smokey? Oh my gosh. She has been so playful lately. I don't know why. She's not usually. Okay. Now, you can do stitch with white first or red first. You can pick. I'm going to stitch with white first and then come back in with the red for the candy cane. But you can do it either way. It is not going to make a difference. So we're going to do a whipped back stitch again, but we're going to do it with 2 colors this time because it's very fun. Okay, so I'm just going to back stitch up the side of this. Now, the bigger you make your stitches, the less red there will be. Like, the red will make the swirls. So like we did up here and we twisted it around, you can't really see the difference because it's white on white. But if you want more of a twist, then you're going to want to do shorter stitches. I'm just going to do mine about the size of my blanket stitch so it kind of matches. But if you want more of a twist, then you're going to want to do smaller stitches. So we're just doing a back stitch first. And I'm using 6 strands of the white. You could even double this over and do 12 so it's like really thick if you wanted to. I think 6 is plenty, but you could do more if you wanted. Oh, you could even, well, let's do this and then we'll talk about some different variations that you can do. But yeah, we're just gonna back stitch first, which we've done a few times, so I have no more tips for back stitch. I think I'm out of tips. We're gonna do our roof probably, is today Tuesday? Yeah, we'll do it on Wednesday or Thursday. All right. So there we are to the top. We're just gonna do this edge because then we'll put like the piece of felt on the roof. Okay, we've got our white back stitch. We're gonna tie that off. Let's see, what way did I go through that? Tie a knot. Okay. Got to get out my red. Oh my gosh, I don't have it over here. That's so funny. Hold on, it's on my desk. I thought that I had put all the colors in here, but apparently I did not. Okay. So we've got DMC 666. It should be the only red in your color palette or whatever color you're using. Okay. So when we did the whipped back stitch before, we got to the top and then we just worked our way back down with the same piece of thread. So this time we're gonna do, it's the same stitch, but we're just using a different piece of thread for the whipped part. So we're gonna come, you can start at the top or the bottom, but I'm gonna start at the bottom. So stinking cute. I should have joined. You still can. December is just starting. Okay, so we're just gonna go under each of these stitches for that whipped back stitch. So then it creates like a candy cane look. Now just be careful because you've got the felt, gosh, I couldn't think of it. I was like, gingerbread house. But, look how cute it is. I love doing whipped backstitch with 2 colors. I agree, I might need to get this all ready tonight. So adorable. Thank you. I think it's so fun. And there's tons of things you can do to like make it your own too. Like if you want to do more white or less white or different swirls or whatever, like you can do so many things. Or doing it in different colors or whatever. You can make it totally personalized. Look how cute that is. I love it. Sometimes I even do this like on greenery, like for stems, and I do 2 different greens. Oops, I grabbed some of that. Now, if you're having a hard time pulling your needle through, I like to do the sharp end through, but I know some people will go and do the eye of their needle through, so you could do that too if that seems easier. I think it's harder, but if it's easier for you, then do it that way. You're like less likely to like grab threads, I guess, but I don't know, I think it's harder. Okay, and then we're just gonna go down. Once you get to the top, that's it. Yay! Okay, so one thing you could do if you want this to be a little bit thicker, you could do 2 lines of the white, like do a back stitch and then come back down and do another back stitch. And then when you whip it, just go through both of the white pieces. Does that make sense? Should I do that? I'll do it on the other side. Then you can see. It would just make it a little bit thicker. The white kind of drowns out the red is so bright that it like drowns out the white a little bit. And especially on white fabric, it might be nice to have a little bit more white. Let me see. Let's see. You're working on 2 stitch-alongs? It's a good time of year for stitch-alongs. I love Christmas designs and like winter designs. I love the colors. So it's a good time of year. Okay, I'm gonna do the candy cane on the other side, but I'm gonna do it a little thicker. What time is it? Oh, it's only 10:15. We have plenty of time to do some stuff. Okay. So you could do this at the same time. You could, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry, my cat is just running around. So you could go and back stitch the whole way up and then go and back stitch the other line, or you could do them just side by side. Whatever feels easier for you. But I'm just laying these right next to each other all the way up. She probably lost her toy under the desk. Now she's gonna meow at me until I get it for her. I think these ones are slightly smaller stitches than the other side. That was not even. It doesn't really matter. With a whipped back stitch, it doesn't. It cleans up a back stitch very nicely. Oh, you know one thing I didn't talk about with a back stitch? Sometimes I don't do a back stitch. So where I went from here to here, sometimes I'll come up here and do it this way and do like a forward stitch. And then the next one I'll do a back stitch. It saves a little bit of thread. if you're into that. But you have to do it like every other one. And if you're doing a whipped back stitch, you have to make sure that your last stitch is a back stitch, or else you have problems with being able to whip it. If you're using the same color. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you're using a different color, but you could do that too if you wanted to. I sometimes do, I sometimes don't. We're almost to the top. A few more stitches here. Oops, that was not straight. All right, one more stitch each. Perfect timing. I'm out of white thread. Okay, so we've got 2 lines of a back stitch. Let's get this tied off. It's probably a good thing I did a little bit of thread saving there. I would have ran out. Okay. Now, I think it's easier to try and go down next to the felt instead of coming up this way, but I am not going to turn my hoop around in my hoop stand. So if you are not using a hoop stand, I would recommend turning your hoop around and going, oh, I guess I could still just whip it the other way, huh? I'm right-handed though. That's really awkward to try and go this way. So I'm going to go this way. But I'm just going under the 2 stitches. We're just going to go under both of these stitches and then. So one thing if you're working towards the felt is I just push from the back. I push up right here. I don't know if you can see that so much, but it just helps so I don't like snag the threads or the felt or anything. Hubby said no because I have so much I'm already doing. Well, save it for next year. I also kind of work my needle just up and down in that thread so I can I'm not like grabbing other thread around it. Look how cute. See, it's just a little bit thicker. So depending on what kind of look you want. Just make sure you're getting all of your white. Loving the double line chunky look. Yes, I agree. I think that's the way to go. I wish I had thought of it the first time, but that's okay. Now you have options. I do think it helps, like with the white on white. Gives it a little bit more space, the swirls are not so like close together. So now if you do bigger stitches, then you'd have like less twisting, yeah. Okay, let me zoom out. You can look at this for a second while I let my cat out because she's gonna keep meowing. You wanna go outside? So depending on what look you're going for, you can do either of those. If you want it less twisted, just do bigger stitches. This kind of looks like that ribbon that's just red and white and twisted, you know, that people put like on little gift tags and stuff. I think I'm gonna redo this side so that it matches. I might also make these bigger. I might redo this and do, I think I want like a little bit bigger stitches. I don't know. I can't decide. I'll decide later. Okay. What time is it? 9:25. Let's do the windows because those are just super, super, super simple. Yesterday I had an appointment, so I had to I had to be fast. But today we've got nothing. So let's do some stitching. It really looks amazing. Oh, thanks. I think it's so fun. I think once we get like all of the white on there, it's just gonna be like so magical. Okay, I'm gonna get my brown back out. So I'm using, what color is it? 433. So depending on what you want your lines to look like, this is 6 strands, or you can do thinner. That's 2 strands. Let me see if I can get a third one here. I'm trying to decide. I think I might do 3. Well, I might do 6 on these and 3 on this. Let's do that. Okay, so one little weird thing that I do that is not going to matter because it's not that big of a window, but I always do, if I'm doing just like a straight stitch, I do the shorter stitch on top and the longer stitch on the bottom. So I'm just going to come up in the bottom middle and go straight like that, and then come over here. If you lay it down, then you can kind of see where a straight line is. See? Super easy. That's not going to be hard to do. And then we'll come over to this side and do the same thing. Cute windows. That little detail was a good one. Okay. Tie this off and then we'll get 3 strands and do the arched window and then we'll call it a day. It's a lot of like little things, details. They take up a lot of time. I just think that 6 strands will be too much in that little window. Let me see what 2 looks like. Yep, I'm gonna do 2. Tying a little knot. Sorry, I'm trying to double knot this. Having a hard time. Okay. Okay. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get 1, 2, 3. I guess we still could. Okay. I'm gonna come up, you could go up in the felt if you wanted to. That might be a nice guide, or just not. Okay. So this one is going to come depending on what shape you want. So if you want these if you're going to do fewer strands, I would do a smaller angle. If you want more strands, I would do a bigger angle. So I'm going to come up and do a bigger angle. I'm going to come back down here. Now, one thing I like to do to make sure that these are parallel is just kind of play with where it needs to go down so that they just looking at it and saying, okay, those are straight, or because if you make it smaller, then you can clearly see this is not the same angle. So I like to just kind of look at it like this and then go down where it Makes sense. And then I think trying to make the distance the same. It's about right. And then make it parallel to those other two. Go down here. So we've got that side. And then we'll come up. We're going to come up like in between these ones to go the other way. And then we want to cross them so they make like a perfect X. So if we come down here, then we can see like that makes the X not quite right. So like a perfect X would be there. So we're going to come down here. And then we're going to come up in the middle of the two that we did first. And then make sure that these angles are the same. And whatever looks right to you. You can do this however it looks right in your mind. You could also just do straight stitches. You could do no stitches in here if you want to. You could leave it open. We do need one more right here though. There. Now, if you don't want to come up in the felt, you could just come up, like on the inside of the felt, like on the white, just on the fabric instead of the felt. But you could also weave around these if you wanted to, but it's such a small space, I'm not worried about it, but there we go. Let's see, tomorrow, I think we'll do the wreath first and then do the roof. So we'll do the wreath and then the two window boxes. So we'll do our greens tomorrow. And then we'll save our roof for Thursday. And then I think we'll be done. I think we're only going to make it 9 days instead of 10, but that'll be good. So, Kate, let me know if you have questions. I'll finish this and then I will post, to my stories. I think I'm gonna redo these as well so that they're the same, but anyways, I will post a picture in my stories when I finish this, and if you want to share, I'd love to see what yours is looking like, and then let me know if you have questions, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.